They don't want to hear that.
Oh, yeah, well, they might. But it's interesting.
I'm opening it all the way so that way when it's time, I'm putting the sound. See? Now it's working.
Okay, we ready? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our Democratic National Convention forum for Montgomery County. And here we have one of our individuals that is going to be on our panel, Mr. Dave Billen. And we also have Mr. Dwight Jemerson. And we have, unfortunately, we have the other individuals who could not be here due to scheduling and other commitments. We have parties that we want to bring forth ideas and the concerns of the public too. So we want to be able to now provide our communities with the answers that our constituents here could provide. We all know that none of us could foretell the future. If we could, our lives would be a lot better than what they are. However, we're looking to hear from them what they can provide, what they can provide us with in regard to what the community is looking for. I know there are a lot of things that are near and dear to my heart for community services. So we want to ask these questions to provide answers to you so that you can hear from these two gentlemen. In regard to the first question, and it can be open to either gentleman. First question is, what is the role of the city of Clarksville and the Housing Authority in addressing affordable housing crisis in Montgomery County, and how will they work together to make housing more affordable for the working people?
You're gonna let me go first. All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much, the Democrats, for allowing me to speak up. I reached out to the Republicans and asked if I could do the same, and they turned me down. So I appreciate that. Regardless of whether you agree with me or not, at least you know where I stand. First of all, the Clarksville Housing Authority is in a pickle. The 2023 financials for the Housing Authority show that about $600,000 of grant money that Clarksville received was never spent. And they offered excuses that it was COVID, they were understaffed. But I think that it is a sin to leave money on the table and leave people without a place to stay. The role of the Clarksville Housing Authority should be housing. It's not doing a very good job of that right now. And I'm frankly, I called the Housing Authority to talk with them, and I never received a return call. I would love to sit down and discuss with them what they've got. If you'd like to explain why they are less than stellar in their service, then I'm all part of that. For matter if you want to go online and look at the Clarksville Housing Authority website, you'll find that it has not been updated in almost a year. This is a service they're supposed to be getting for our tax dollars. This is a service that people that are less fortunate need, and it's not a matter of I've got a job and my role is important, but what I do within that role is not important. Frankly, I don't know as a city council person what I can do other than put pressure on the Housing Authority, and I certainly will do that as I'm doing right now. Thank you.
I'm Dwight Jemerson, running for Ward 8. The Housing Authority, we're out here in the community every day seeing the displaced families. A lot of us don't realize a lot of families out there that aren't out there because they're homeless. They're out there because they can't afford first, last, and your firstborn to get housing for you and your families. It's sad. We're out here and we're watching these folks that can't afford housing, but now you have middle class families that are homeless and can't get into housing. The rent's too high. But I think all in all, I feel the buildings that are overpopulated with homes, I think they should give back and make affordable housing with some of these buildings and structures that they're building, give back to make it a better tomorrow for people to be able to afford some of the houses that they're building. So I think we should put it back on the builders.
Okay. Okay. Under the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, Tennessee has no minimum wage. Is that correct? Because the housing authority may not be as effective as we would like for them to be, could it be a contingency plan to where minimum wage is raised from $7.25 to be able to meet those needs? Because the average two-bedroom home in the fair market value, person has to make at least $16.71 an hour. Could that be a contingency based upon while we're waiting for one entity to come to the table with an agreement, we're still having these individuals still going through these situations? So could now a different angle be approached where we now look at, hey, how can we get them to afford housing by now looking at a possible minimum wage increase?
I feel with a minimum wage increase, I feel it should be done anyway by the growth, by the way inflations are. Usually, a minimum wage should be based on inflations and the average of how much it is to live and, the way gas prices are. With everything being inflated, minimum wage, it shouldn't be a question on the table. Everybody should have fair wages because you think about it, your average electric bill now is $250, $300.
Correct.
During the summer, it's $400, $500, $600. I mean, you can't afford to go to work and afford to pay your bills. You can't afford gas and afford to pay your bills. You can't afford to take care. You can't afford to live. You can't afford to feed your families. If you don't snap, it only goes so far.
That's true.
But I feel that minimum wage should be raised anyway because of the way the cost of living is getting real, extreme.
Okay.
And I'm in agreement. One of the things that we look at for Social Security, military wages, the GS wages, they're all tied to the consumer price index and the economy. The minimum wage at one time was considered to be a stepping stone for teenagers to go work at McDonald's. But the problem is that we've got people who are working at McDonald's that are in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s. That's exactly right. And how many years have it been since the minimum wage has gone up? It's not a matter of I deserve it. It's a matter of what's fair.
Correct. Which now leads us into my next question, which is a stance on juvenile justice and rehabilitation. Do you believe that Montgomery County should build a juvenile detention facility?
I'm hands-on with this. Me and my wife, we work with the juveniles. We work with the Foster Care Review Board. We're in it. I don't feel that they need a facility to house kids like that because it just makes it worse. We're already throwing them to the wayside, putting them in foster care or taking them from homes where a mom can't afford her electric or can't afford to feed them. So you take them and put them somewhere unfamiliar. So now the kids, what do you expect them to do? You put them on medication that you're giving us veterans who have you out of loop, and then the kids are acting out because some of this meds you put them on. So it's a whole bad situation. But I feel, one of my close friends, Ed Moss, he's over the juvenile center now. He's trying to get a center where we've talked about it. We want to start with the family.
Correct.
The mom's not working. If you fix a child, you send them back to a broken home, they're still broken.
Correct.
But if you fix it from the foundation with the parents and help the mom get a job or she get a GED, help the family. And then as you help the family, then the kids can have a better situation and then hopefully become better citizens. But if you keep throwing them all in the barrel, you're going to keep getting the same results.
Correct.
One of the problems with incarceration is that it is a breeding ground for crime of people that are inside. You've got gang problems, you've got sexual assaults, and you've got the sense of isolation. At the same time, if you have a young person who is picked up for a violent crime, is accused of it, currently if we don't have a place to put that child, the police will transport them as much as 4 hours away. That means that their parent is got to travel 8 hours to visit with their child, and that just doesn't seem right. I think that having a youth advocacy facility, because I don't want to call it anything a jail or that, and having some space in there, some dorm space. We're not talking about prison space, because you've got kids that are runaways, and they could be from someplace out of state. You don't want to put those kids into the same kind of detention centers with people that are accused of violent crimes. We need something, but we certainly don't need a large building with bars that screams retribution. It's justice is not about punishment; it's restorative, especially when you've got kids. And these kids are basically large have issues that started even before they were born. This is a generational issue. Like White was saying, Mr. Moss, it's the community has to come together. It's not an easy thing where we're going to have a box and we're going to throw these people in and forget about them. We all have a duty to do that. And I think that the big brothers, big sisters, the Boys and Girls Club, just churches, there's a lot of other organizations that are available. Basically, I think everybody needs to step up. If you're fortunate, you need to act. It's one of the reasons I'm running.
And with as we talked about earlier, so with my service in the military, and of course we have veterans here in the room, we have been taught that when there is a situation, you vie for a resolution. You just don't leave the situation on the table. And to parallel what you two are saying, do you see the congruency between if we increase the availability for minimum wage to go up, the opportunity now for individuals to feel as if they are more society assets, that now that would not decrease the propensity or possibility of building a correctional facility, because looking at the recidivism rate, if an individual is used to that process, then it's going to be difficult for them to be able to function in society. Just as a very quick segue, if you watch the movie with Morgan Freeman, where when he comes out of prison and he goes into what is the name of that movie? Thank you. He comes out and he's been released, and he goes into the supermarket and he's a bagger and things of that nature. And he asks his supervisor, he says, "Hey boss, can I use the bathroom?" And he says, "Why are you asking me to use the bathroom? Just take a break." Well, because of the institution, that's what he's used to. So now they bring forth that institutionalized thought process back into society. So if we look at possibly paralleling, looking at making money more available by way of education, by way of opportunities, by way of advancements, then I believe, or do you believe, that now the possibility of, instead of building a correctional facility, we build a facility that helps to correct us for society?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What are your takes on those?
That'll be amazing. That's the idea that when I went in and sat down with Mr. Ed Moss, that's what the idea that he had. When we talk about it, they said when you have kids they're different these days. I'm 52 years old. Kids are different. I'm gonna get this time. I had a little young girl over at the house. My wife's niece, she was 7, and she was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go over. I just met her. Something different. So I didn't pray for me. But I know that the mom has to go to work. She has 4 kids. She had to go to work. So she stayed at work all day. So the kids are pretty much raising themselves. And I'm not talking about anybody because it happens. You have to go to work. As a single parent, you have to go to work to support your kids. And, sometimes either child care or being hungry or we got to make it means. But the children raise themselves. You can tell. You can tell the difference in the kids. So you got to love the kids where they are. You got to try to understand them, but you got to love them where they are. But I feel if, we made a way for the kids to, even if you put them in a facility to help them, teach them trade,
Correct.
help them grow, let them know hands-on stuff. A lot of kids don't know much of anything. A lot of them don't want to work. But I think we need to reteach them. We learn them to the things that we grew up on. Our generation is fine. And we grew up on the belt.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
I'm the president of a animal therapy group, and so I've got my dog, and I've worked with dogs for a number of years. And I'm not having a negative comparison of dogs and kids, but there are some similarities. The one thing about a dog is that its lifespan is so much shorter, and the time that it is an adolescent is so much shorter. So you get to see how the way that you bring a dog up is basically the way that dog is going to be for the rest of his life. And that holds true with kids. If you teach a dog that there are certain things that are expected. Anytime you're going to go outside, you've got to sit. Every time you want to be fed, you got to sit. And it's just the way it is. But the thing is that a dog appreciates knowing what's expected of it, consistency. And the more that the dog has that, the more the dog thrives. And when children are growing up, if they don't know what's expected of them, and they're not held to whatever the standard might be in terms of bedtime or getting ready for school on time, taking care of your work, homework, and at the same time, you've got to have instilling in these kids a sense of self-worth. If you have a kid that goes to a local store to pick up a bag of chips, and the store owner is looking at that kid like he's getting ready to steal the whole store, that doesn't make that kid feel like he's got a great deal of trust in him. And that's basically, it is a community. It's not just parents. It is the school, it is the church, the friends, neighbors. When you talk about being brought up in the belt, in the old days, I grew up in a Polish neighborhood, and you had the old grandmas sit on the front porch, and if you did something wrong, your mom would know about it. And then you get a spanking from your mother because you embarrassed her in front of the neighbor. Then your dad would spank you because that's not good. And if you did not go to school, the word you get back to school, and then you get punished at school. I think it's a little excessive. I'm sorry to do that for myself. But yeah, the thing is, I'll tell you what, I had one experience like that, and after that, I didn't behave like that. But the thing is, at the same time, when I did something right, the neighbors were there. They cheered you on, and it was like a big family. And it's one of the downsides with these doggone phones and everybody hiding in their houses. We don't have the sense of community that we need to have. If you want a hometown, it's got to be a hometown that people know each other, that say hi when they see each other. And having a facility that brings these kids together in a setting that allows for them to know that they are just as precious as everything else, and that they can learn. They may not know something, but we'll teach you. We'll show you how to. That's what it needs to be all about.
Okay. And Mr. Billings, you brought up a good point, which leads to community policing. And both of you gentlemen have voiced that this is what needs to be done. And when I think of an analogy as far as a soup is concerned, we have different types of seasonings in the soup, different types of vegetables, different types of meats. Any one of those items are omitted or absent makes the soup taste somewhat different. Have you ever tried to make sweet potato pie without sugar? It has a different taste to it. So my question is, we have, and I've said it myself oftentimes, this is what we have to do in order to make things work and effective. So my question is, how do we do it? And how do we measure it? And how far in advance do we measure it? Do we measure it to the point where we try it, where, being in the military, sometimes they put the cart before the horse. Do we measure it in stages and be able to say, hey, listen, let's develop a program that will, number one, encourage individuals or young people to want to grow? Because as you said, sir, that sometimes the confidence is not instilled at home. Sometimes the self-worth is not instilled at home. So they don't know what that feels like. So like the Pythagorean theorem, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. What could possibly be the formula that we could say, hey, if we implement this, even on a trial basis, let's not talk about it, let's be about it. What could we now, each of us, put in as an ingredient to this situation to bring about what we want to see on the right side of that equal sign?
With me, we talk about this trauma, kids trauma. They have to have someone to talk to that they trust. They got to be able to go talk to a pastor, a mother, sister, teacher that's not going to sit there and look down on you for what I'm telling you, or not going to go out of the trust of me telling you something, unless it's something dealing with me wanting to harm myself. I want to be able to have somebody to go and talk to where I can have my deepest, darkest, anything that ever happened to me, be able to talk to you and feel that I'm okay by talking to you. So until we find some type of resources or some people who can really love the kids where they are and talk to them and find out where the trauma began. A lot of us have trauma we never knew we had. I'm 52 years old and I just found out some traumas that I had because I used to always joke about it. I never knew it was trauma because I joke about everything. That's my mechanism. I joke, I play all the time. Mr. Let's go, let's go get it done. I'm 24/7. But when you have dealing with kids, you got a lot of youth centers. You got the JET program that goes out and play with youth. They're feeling that void for a couple of hours. And again, like I said, when you go back home, you go back to the mom yelling at you, the dad beating on you, then you run away. The kid ran away 5 times, but we keep sending them back to the home and we're not figuring out what the problem is.
Correct.
So we can never fix a problem if the kids aren't talking. And these days, kids don't talk.
Correct.
They don't talk to you. They don't tell you what's going on with them because I don't know if they're afraid of the feedback from the parents or what we'll say. But again, it starts with the teachers. The teachers now, you got 100 kids in the classroom, and I'm exaggerating it, but I'm not hands-on with you. You come in and get your head down all day and you're tired all day, but the teacher, I'm not worried about seeing what's going on with you. I'm keep teaching. I'm keep teaching. You fall behind, you went from A2 to F2, but I'm sending notes home and emails to your mama telling you to get it together. But it starts with you as my teacher, my provider. It's not that, send me to the guidance company. We got to get more involved with the kids because we don't. And me as a father, I'm 52 years old, old school. I'm harsh. But I go wait and tell them, I get up. She's like, you be a little more soft. I don't realize the military.
That's right.
I'm harsh. I'm gonna hit toss you, throat chop you. Get your butt up. But I had to find a softer side of me, especially with my daughter's example. I got my daughters are 20, 27, 32, and they always say, Dad, I love you, Dad, I love you, Dad, I love you. But get out my face, go keep rocks. I always say something, but it's just the way I was. I wasn't a parent that just loved on my kids. I taught my daughters, I raised them harsh.
Right.
And it wasn't harsh like I was getting them prepared for the world. The world's not easy. Now that they're older, it's just, I never told them I love you. And then now when they get under to that, I love you. I love you. They'll say it, I'll say, all right, I love you. Get out my face. But now I understand. I realize the damage I've done I've never hugged them. And I loved on my babies. And that's probably why they fool well just bums. Excuse me, I'm joking at it. I'm sorry, I was going to say that. But I guess I should have loved them more, showed them more compassion as a father. But and I tell all fathers now, for the young, old, love on your kids. I didn't love on mine, and it wasn't from me not being loved on at home because I was raised well. But I didn't love on my kids. I was in the military. I was broken from the military. But me being broken should have made me learn that it's important, the hugs, the kisses on the cheek, and I do better with my grandkids. My daughters always call me up. You got to discipline. They don't want to be a squid crying. So hey, what you doing, huh? And then one day I woke my grandson. I felt bad. Because he became scared of me.
Correct.
So it made me feel some type of way. And so with that, I try to change and get a softer side of me. Now, I'm not all the way there, but I'm working on it. I know it's important, especially for these little young boys with me. We meet a lot of young boys who's just so hard and so broken, that, all they know is Jordans, the nice clothes, the chains. Everybody want to be somebody they're not from what they see on TV. But that's not real life.
Correct.
That's not. They're looking for something in these streets, and I don't knock any man. If I rob the bank, you're never give me a job at a bank, but give me something. You're not gonna give me a job. You're gonna go back to what's familiar to you.
Correct.
And in society, you judge people by their past. We got to do better with giving people a job. Don't tell me I can't work for you because I'm a felon. Show me how to be better. But if you keep me in that barrel being a felon, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna be breaking into your house, breaking into your car. I gotta do what I gotta do to protect my family. I mean, to support my family. And it's not right. But if you're not gonna give me a chance to put me back in society to be somebody great, you're gonna keep getting the same thing.
Correct.
One of the things that comes to mind, like brought up, not everybody is cut out to be the ideal mentor, because we'll have our baggage, and some people are naturals at getting to have a kid come out of his shell, and it depends on the kid and the adult, because it's just like any relationship. Sometimes people gel, sometimes they don't, and it's a challenge to have kids to have a mentor and to make it more than 2 hours a month. That's not that. It's nice, and it might make the volunteer feel like they're doing something, but it's almost like giving a person dying of thirst just a sip of water. It isn't going to stop them from dying. And Dwight is right. If we don't provide something for the people that have made mistakes, a way to work their way back to a regular, healthy relationship with society, what's left for them? If they can't make money honestly, what are they supposed to do? It's easy to say, well, ship them away, put them in a prison. We don't want anybody coming here from other countries. The thing is that almost all of us have come here from, our family has come here from someplace else, and it's I get frustrated when people, I got mine, I don't care about anybody else, and this isn't. This is my my weak point in my personality, because I don't have a magic answer. It's important. It's critical, because the kids are our future, and you mentioned community policing, and I think that we need to look at, and I know that there's a document out there that talks about how to do this, but I think that the community does better when the people who live in the community are the ones who are keeping an eye on what's going on. If Johnny from Two Burgers Down likes to check cars to see if they're unlocked, well, there are two things to do. Make sure your car door is locked, and then when you see Johnny, let him know, hey, I'm watching you. And and then let's find something else for you to do, Johnny, because you don't need to be doing that. Again, it's redirect, and build up the kid, and give him something constructive, and that goes for anybody that is screwed up in life. Just ignoring somebody and leaving them by the by is not. It's not what a good society does.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I had a conversation the other day about employee value, diversity. How can one who has served in the military now say, I am worth this amount based upon a dollar figure? And it was conveyed to me that, basically, you're the one that has to make that decision. So by looking at employee value, diversity, how do you all feel about DEI initiatives? How do you feel about the different ethnicities and their beliefs and their work ethics? And how can we bring all this together to make it work as a community? I'm from New York, so we call it a melting pot. We've got all different types of individuals from all walks of life. And there are some times where we may not always agree. So we agree to disagree. However, when 9/11 happened, we all came together as one unit, and we forgot about the differences that we may have had at that time. And now we focus on the issue at hand. How do we now take the diversity of individuals who bring value to the table to help us solve these problems? And now how do we integrate them so that, number one, we're solving a problem, we're not just talking about it. And number two, how do we invoke their participation of value and creativity to make it work?
I feel every individual had their strengths. I feel when you got a lot of organizations out here, but when you make things about you, your organization, getting funds, and I think you lose your way. So I think as long as you love what you're doing and putting 100% in what you believe in, not everybody's meant to be a leader.
Correct.
I feel if everybody has something to offer, let them offer it, put it all in the pot, and then we talk about it and point people to where they need to be. If I've never talked to youth on a psychological level, I shouldn't be talking to youth on that level. But if I know I can have that throw a ball with and play with, sometimes you got to downplay yourself to be a greater person, the needs of your community. One thing that I don't like, I'm not a politician, but I want to. I love community. But when I see all the negative stuff, all these negative campaign aims, ads, and beating up people's character, especially people I know. You beat up their character and talk about their family and their kids are watching that. Is it that necessary for you to beat somebody down for you to get a position? You'll do the same thing you've been doing. It's just weird. Give an example. I just met a young man. I really liked his character. I didn't care if he was Republican, Democrat, Independent. Nothing of that mattered to me. I talked to him as a person. I'm talking to him, and I liked him, so I just signed up. He held my sign up, and all of a sudden it just became a mess with the people that's on his side. But I don't have no side. We should all come together. They should be Democratic, Republican, red, blue, black. None of that should matter. If you're here for the people.
Correct.
If you're here for the people, you're not running for a party. You're running for people. And I think a lot of folks have lost their way. They've lost their way. They don't care about nothing but getting numbers. And the numbers just don't help with the people. So I feel if everybody individually would just love on people and don't make it about a red, blue, black, green, and just make it about people and family and love on people, what we were made here to do, I think we'll be all right.
Okay.
As a person running for city council, it is a nonpartisan position. I'm frustrated as well. Individuals who want to know what my background is, what party I belong to. The party I belong to is the human race, and I am here to help the individuals in the community. Now, if you don't like my position, tax reforms and my things on then you can agree with it. Let's be respectful of each other. We are so quick these days to throw around labels, and it includes what DEI. What's it's like let's treat each other with equity. Not everybody can start at the same place in a race. Some people are blessed with a little bit more intelligence. Some people are blessed with white skin. And I don't have I had no say in that. I mean, it's just that's what I've got. But at the same time, if I don't understand the people that I work with, I may hire. I used to when I work, I would hire people. If I don't look at their soul as opposed to their just a piece of paper on the resume, then I'm shortchanging them. I'm shortchanging myself. There are some things that we need to expect. I mean, and it keeps coming back to expectations and acknowledging somebody's worth and then expecting them to live up to their best self. And that's what we need to do. That's one of the things that I want to do as a city councilman is to bring that out throughout the entire city.
And as you bring that up, when we talk about police department role in addressing historical racial injustice and keeping the community safe, uh, Clarksville or state of Tennessee may not have had an increase in these situations as some other states. But how do we mitigate that from happening? I remember growing up, I was given an analogy that if you see a group of African American gentlemen on a street corner, it's a gang. But then if you see a group of Caucasian young men, it's a fraternity or a club. So how do we now, what could possibly be the formula to say, hey, listen, I'm a citizen just like you are. You know, roles could be reversed. I could be wearing the uniform, and you're going to expect me to abide by what I've taken an oath to do. Doctors take an oath to do no harm to their patients. So, how do we, or what do we do in regards to addressing or mitigating any type of racial profiling uh, in our communities? Or can we?
I leave this one. I mean, all right. I think that one of the things that we should do as a community, and you know, it may be that the current police force is doing it, but maybe being more transparent about it would not be a bad idea. Is basically keeping track of the interactions that our police force has with the community. You know, we've seen examples of this where there are police officers in other departments in other states that the individual, frankly, should never have been a police officer in the first place and has skipped police force to police force just ahead of some type of disciplinary action. You know, and I think that it behooves us to take a look and see how our police force interacts with the neighborhood. And it wouldn't be a bad idea for the police to you know, get back to the old days where we walk, they would walk through the neighborhood and people would know the officer by name and the police would know kids and you know, you could build a community. You know, it keeps going back to that. We want to build community, and this isn't us against them. These, you know, the police they're supposed to be there to help give us a sense of security, keep us safe, and when there's a crime, solve the crime. You know, I was unfortunate enough to be driving down William Rudolph Boulevard just over a year ago when a couple of young people pulled up next to a car and shot an individual, and he died. And you know, at that point, the police were they came from everywhere, and it was kind of scary. You know, I had a gun going off about 4 feet from my ear, but they weren't pointing it at me, so I'm not going to pretend that it was worse than it was. But and I thought, you know, they went looking for the shooter in subdivisions, and I can imagine being a person, a resident of the subdivision, and all of a sudden you see 5 police cars screaming up into the driveway. And I don't know. I don't have good answers, but again, it's trying to build a communication with the people who live in the community and the people who are collecting.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
One thing,
Yes. I'm sorry.
one thing about us, we had a forum outside of our shop. We had a poultry shop in New Providence, so we would do a forum with the police officers from the deputy chief and the chief to the captains, to lieutenants. So we would have them meet up at our shop, and we have an open mic for anybody in the community to come out and voice whatever situation they had or something's going on in their community that they wanted to talk to the police officers about. So we did that for a couple of months. Not a lot of folks come out to talk about it, but we had a lot of interaction with the police because we didn't want it to be like some of the places we had to worry about that. But Captain Jake William, he's part of the JET program. very interactive with the community. They walk the neighborhoods. If the kids are out playing basketball, they're in there, they interact with them. So one day, Captain Chad Koyoma, he rode up to the shop there and on a bike, and he appeared out on the bike, and somebody asked, "What do we think about him as a police officer in the community?" You know, he respected our, you know, what we were saying. Asked what I thought of him, and I thought it was a fair question because I feel you treat people how you want to be treated. You know, if you treat people the way you want to be treated, then you won't go wrong. But if you see whether you got a young black man on the corner or a young white man, Spanish, Puerto Rican, whoever's on the corner, if they're not doing anything wrong, don't mess with them. If they're not disrupting, the people that own the stores aren't calling you. If you just going by and you see them there and you just want to, you know, interact with them, go interact with them. But don't interact with them being aggressive. Go and see what's going on with them. Hey, what you guys got going on today? And the good thing about some of our officers here, you have that. They'll come up and they'll try to interact with you. A lot of people run because, you know, you say, oh, the police come, your instinct is to run.
Correct.
I got a valid driver. When the police get behind me, I get shaky, you know? But it's just natural. It's natural instinct, whether you're good or bad. But I feel as policing, you can't always stereotype, and you can't always, that's not your job. Your job is not see me as baggy clothes, and you know, I don't like the sagging pants either, but you know, if it's something you don't like as a police officer, go to that young man and be like, man, can you pull your pants up? Be a little bit more respectful. Go on and be more personable. Be more personable, and don't just feel because you got a badge on and you can talk to people any type of way. Because at the end of the day, if you're talking, you know, sideways to me, you know, you're a veteran like me, you got triggers.
Yes.
You may trigger me and I say something sideways to you. But one thing I say about the Clarksville County Police Department, a lot of them have their veteran badges on their badge, they got veterans on there. So a lot of them know how to relate. Yeah, when you do that traffic stop, you don't know I'm a veteran, but you know, I may be triggered by you, you know, being in my window, so you may not get the reaction that you want from me, but just work with me. You know, but all that aggression to get out of the car, get on the ground, and knee to the neck, and all that stuff, I feel it's a better way of doing all that stuff, especially if it's not warranted. If I don't have a weapon, I'm not, you know, being violent towards you. You know, you don't have to do that towards me. It's just respect.
Correct.
And before we move on, I just wanted to say that this, Dwight brought this up, and I realize that it's easy for us to be talking about things that need to be corrected or that shouldn't happen in the first place. But overall, being a cop is a hard job.
It is.
And the majority, overwhelming majority of these guys and gals are fantastic people, and they devote their life to trying to make our community better. And I'll take that away from this, you know. And that's the problem. If you've got 999 out of 1,000 police officers that are perfect, but only with that one, that's the one that you remember. Just like if you've got, you know, 1,000 black people and only one is going to be, you know, robbing, that's the one that's sticking in your brain. And it's baggage that we take on ourselves. It's hard to get rid of. But, you know, again, if we look at each other as people, look at each other's souls, and realize that you know, I may not be having a good day, but the police officer may not be having a good day. But hopefully we can get around that and treat each other as reasonable people and do what we need to do. So anyway, so yeah, shout out to police officers, sheriffs, and first responders.
Definitely, because they do. They put their lives on the line every day. A potential traffic stop could be their last.
Oh, yes.
And they serve and protect us from, you know, criminal activity. Do you think, because again, my mentality is, how do we fix it? So could it be when we're looking at community outreach or community projects such as maybe green space, neighborhood parks, planting trees, things of that nature? Could one of the remedies be that as a community, as a neighborhood, as a conglomerate, we come together and we show our commitment to growing our neighborhood? Because again, me, I'm very big on show me the formula. Show me the formula, because that way I can see the possibility of how it could end and what may need to change in the interim, so we can get the end result that we're looking for. So could that possibly be, not just sometimes if you've noticed, sometimes there are family members that come together when there's only a funeral or when there's only a wedding or things of that nature. Could we come together and not just during Christmas when the atmosphere is far nice, or Thanksgiving, but can we come together and say we've got this community project and we want to have the police officers, first responders, young people, things of that nature, so that way we're mixing the experiences of eras so that we can come together and teach you how. There are some individuals who are good with hands and struggle didactically. So could that be a possible remedy to say, hey, let's look at our neighborhood, our parks, our recreational centers. What needs to be improved? As a JRTC instructor, we carry our cadets out. They have to do community services. We take them out and we partner with different entities in the community in the surrounding areas, as well as outside of Clarksville. And the experience that they get, we went to clean up Mount Olive Cemetery, where quite a few African American war heroes are buried there. Their families are buried there. Their children are buried there. When we talked about the project ahead of time, they felt a little creepy about a cemetery. But when we went out there and they saw the history and they understood the history behind it, what happened, how it happened, these individuals are unfortunately here because they decided to make a decision to pioneer society for us and to get that better understanding. So could events such as neighborhood parks, recreational communities, green spaces, what are your stance? Would your stance possibly be, hey, let's include this as a possible formula to bring communities together so we can grow the community?
Well, us personally, we've been doing this for about 7-8 years. We get with all the youth facilities. We partner up with them. We take them down urban ministries, let them pass out food boxes. When they see folks their age, they're giving them these food boxes. It changes you. We also take the youth. We used to get the youth that was at the Safe House with DCS. We take them to City Forum. They're worried about the kids running away, and hey, we don't have security. And I said, you don't need any of that. As long as you're loving on these kids and showing them that even though you've been in trouble, you're okay. Let them be kids. So we go to City Farm. We had about 15 kids. These kids had so much fun because a lot of them never experienced fun. With the JET program, they go with Herman at the youth center. We got a guy that goes there and do boxing with them. It's a lot of stuff that you can do with the kids, but you got to realize when they do these activities and then the low income housing, when the churches come out and y'all come out to get the parents to come out and vote, or y'all come out there to do back to school bash, you got to realize y'all out here, the kids out here eating. The parents got them coming to get a plate to take back to at the house. But if you don't have no parents and the parents are the community, they're not coming out. The kids are the parents. True. Kids are coming out there getting information that you're not getting because you just worry about getting the plate. Your mama tells you bringing that phone home. She's still sitting on the couch. But if you don't get the families and the parents to come out here and interact with these kids, doing the stuff in the community, what can you do as community leaders?
Okay.
There's so much you can do without the support of the families. But it's a lot of awesome programs out here. We do first responder kickball, basketball, with all the first responders, the police department, the JET program. They're amazing at being out here with the kids, the youth. We have a lot of youth activities that we do with the kids at our shop. We had them come out from the program at the courthouse, the juveniles. They were on probation. We kept telling them, if you keep the kids in a setting where they're in the courthouse, they feel like they're in trouble. You send them in a rubber room and you talking to them about what they've done wrong. Yeah, I went to Walmart and I stole the BB gun because my mama couldn't get it for me. So you got 5 little kids here that stole BB gun. Now they're in here feeling like criminals because they're stuck in this little rubber room. We're coming in here as mentors, coming talking to them, but we're really not doing no good. So what we did was we had made a little field trip to come to our shop. We showed them how to do headliners on cars, how to do upholstery. We had them stand in cars, and these kids had an amazing time of it. But once they brought them there, we never seen them again. So the inconsistency was horrible. once you give a kid something to do that they find fun and you just take it from them, you know, and it's not the fault of the court system because, you know, a lot of parents, you know, they can't get their kids there or whatever it is. But when you have a program where you're trying to feed into the kids, if the parents aren't feeding into it, you can go build all the parks, green spaces, do everything in the rural community. We all come together in Lincoln Homes and we painted all the swings and slides and we redid everything. The police department, the fire department, we had every leader out there. We cleaned this whole park, restructured this park, and then the next, I think within a month, all the stuff was gone. The new chains we put up on the swings for the kids. Now the kids sit up there, they play with air conditioning units behind the fences over in the projects. Because they don't have nothing to do because you just took the park from them. We restructured this whole park. About 2 months later, the whole park was destroyed. They felt it. I didn't know what they said the deed was to the wood to it, but they didn't know how for it. She made over $100,000 and the kids don't have anything to play with at the park. So it starts with everybody. It's everybody. We come together, we bring 1,000 people together and do stuff for the community. But if the parents are not doing these kids, it won't do any good.
And, you know, you bring up you give us the hard question. And if we had the answer to this, we'd all be rich and the world would be the perfect place. And I say that tongue in cheek. The thing is that we have programs like what it says, you know, I've been a little I've been into adult scouting, adult youth scouting. I have done the 4-H summer camps, you know, and just within the last few weeks, we had yesterday it was a community care, so Down syndrome kids, and the police had presence there, the fire department, the rescue teams, we had businesses there, and the kids all had a great time. There's a lot of programs. There's a lot of people that are donating their time and doing what it is. But yeah, if the people at home, if there's not a food on the table, that's, you know, those kids aren't going to be able to go to the World Rudolph Event Center because they have a way to get there. And if the parents could take them there, maybe they're too tired, maybe they're at work. There's, you know, we do the best we can, and don't give up.
Could we incentivize the parents?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Like you said,
One thing that we started doing with the parents, a lot of them can't afford the shoes, and you know, one thing we started doing, we do a back to school drive every year with Officer DeRico. But it's something that we started because we feel, you know, it's just a pair of shoes, but it's important when the kids go to school. So we started, you know, calling the parents or letting the parents know if your kid need shoes, or we call the center, or even some of the teachers, which they don't reach out. But if you see a kid in school and they have holes in their shoes, it makes a difference. So we try to empower the kids to let you know, even if it's not about a brand of shoe, but it makes a difference. Looking nice in school makes a difference.
It does.
So, like I said, us as parents, you know, it don't take you to be rich to just be compassionate and just care for people. But I do want to say with our community, we have a lot of awesome Attorney Will Poland, Judge Reed Poland, Nash, General Nash, Olson, Attorney Phillips, everything. The Kennedys. Every time we meet, when we first come into academic with the JET program, they come in and we let them come in and see what we see and what we want to invest in. And every time we have a need for these kids or for the community or for parents to pay help pay the bills, now don't keep in mind, we're the type of people, my wife, she's going to investigate. You say your electricity bill due, you out here partying on the weekend, turned up, you know, I can't help you. But if you out here and we know you're out here going to work and you struggling to struggle, we don't mind helping you pay your electric bill, your cable bill, you know, your phone bill, help you with there's times when my wife used to be the diaper angel. She would let you come, she didn't want to know who you are, you go pick your diapers up if you need them. All of a sudden, every week you ask for diapers. So with me, it became overwhelming. No, we're not going to do that. We're these fathers that to these kids. But you would ask my wife to get your pampers. You got so bad, she would go to Walmart and send them to their house. They take them back.
Get the money.
So you got to realize when we become enablers
Yes.
of a situation, it's enabling and just always bring your food box every week and you got a whole person in the driveway with your old man sitting next to you watching TV. Sometimes we become enablers. So sometimes it's not about the situation that people are in.
Right.
It's a situation they don't want to get themselves out of. So we come together with a million people and then run around here and give everybody $10. But that's like you $10, what you gonna do with it?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to invest in yourself, it's only so much that us as individuals can do for people.
That's correct.
But it's nothing negative. But some people don't want to be helped.
Yeah, the folks at Kroger's, if you get a couple of vaccines, they'll give you $20 worth of food. But there are still people that won't get that vaccine, even though you got to have food. You're gonna go to Kroger's, but
But you shouldn't have me do something that I'm not comfortable with to feed me.
Well, you don't have to take.
No, but you don't have to. But I'm gonna tell you, when COVID first hit, I'm like,
Yeah, no.
when COVID first hit, we was all on the bridges. We was going to find all the homeless people, worried about the homeless people, make sure they was all right. This COVID thing. We never been vaccinated. I'm not gonna wood. I've never had a problem. I don't know nobody who's been vaccinated, but everybody that I know that's been vaccinated, they always get COVID 5, 6, 7 times over. So don't tell me you're gonna give me a $25 voucher, come and get a shot for you can get more money for the people who invent this stuff.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Food is a necessity.
And food's a necessity, but don't debate me in on food. They give out free food every month.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I'm not perfect. And that's
No. You are perfect to me.
No.
You can write that on.
But the point is that you can offer free food for almost anything, and then people are going to get off the couch to get it. So in the side, try and give out an incentive to do something. It's not going to be 100%. Not that it shouldn't happen, but one of the things too, you brought up green space. My ward, 12, is the only ward in the county that is not planned for a recreation facility, playground, or park. Out of all the wards, it isn't. That's one of the things that I'm pushing for, because I think that it's important that a kid can go someplace besides a parking lot to play. Have some trees. It's just a good thing to do. And if you got a place to gather, then it certainly is better than having played ball in the street because you got nowhere else to be. And it makes you feel like you're at a.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, sir. Obvious.
And again, going back to the builders, over at our house, I've seen a house backyard. I think it probably maybe 12 by 12, but it goes here and it goes downhill. And they got a privacy fence around it. I didn't understand that because it's going downhill. We've seen some kids playing in the backyard, no bigger than this room, and the trampoline was up on the roof of the house part of. So the kids jumping up and touching the roof. So we're not building homes now for kids to have adequate playtime and getting out there. And by the time you play in that backyard, 2 feet by 7, you're tired. You're going back in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a necessity. If we have all these builders building all these homes, build something fun for the kids out there in the neighborhood. Take a little bit of that money and build something for kids and go out there and play. Whether it be a slide, whatever you do, build something for these kids while you're building all this space for them not to have anywhere to go and play. Because you're really not getting any big backyards for these $300,000 houses.
And one of the things that I find a little bit frustrating is that one of the developments in my ward, they've got a playground and basketball court and place to go. Except that if you go there, you see where it says this is an HOA facility and it's no trespassing, and if you park your car, it can be towed. I got that. I mean, I live in that neighborhood, but the thing is that it just doesn't seem like that's what we need for our community.
That's why you're here. You get elected, you change things.
And speaking about space, transportation, we see Highway 24 takes one incident on Highway 24, locks everything down. I sat in traffic from Clarksville, literally from Clarksville all the way to Nashville because of an accident.
Well, you do that off Town Road, just waiting to get home.
At Town Road. What possible remedies are we looking at too, as far as expansion? Because like you said, space is essential for growth. And like you said, if they're in that small space in their backyard, that's almost equivalent to being in a 6x9 set. You can only move but so much. So what possibilities, what are your visions for possibilities of space expansion, for transportation, for road improvement? What are your visions for
The amazing thing I talk a lot, so I apologize, but I'm gonna be transparent. I have folks that go on my page and they steal stuff that we talk about. So I went live with the finance young lady who runs finances, the gas and water, and the street department. A lot of folks feel that this stuff not getting done. A lot of folks don't realize a lot of our streets are state. A lot of them are city, but if the state's not going to do anything, the city can't do anything. But they do have a lot of stuff coming up that they're doing. They're doing it over on over by what's the exit 1. They're rebuilding that
Tylertown Road.
Tylertown Road. They're expanding Tylertown Road. They got some for Hazelwood coming up in the next couple of months, and they're working on Sango. But what people don't realize is that money got to come from somewhere. When the money comes from somewhere, also, if I go to this young lady's house and I need to take 5 foot of her yard, I got to offer her money for it. If she don't want to sell her yard, then if everybody else sells the yard, I'm going to take her yard. So I learned all this and talking to people. I didn't understand it. If she don't want to sell her land, I'm going to take her land because it got to be done because everybody else want to do it. So if she don't want that little money, I'm offering her for her already 5 foot front yard. Now I'm gonna make it 2 feet, so she's gonna have her grass to her front door. I'm gonna make room. I'm making room for stuff that we're doing to overpopulate Clarksville. So I'm gonna take her land. Not right, but I got to take it because it had to be done.
Okay.
And enlarging the road, the roundabout had to be done, but you see them people charging the right hand side when you're going down the road. It's horrible. It's horrible, but you can build and expand the roads all you want to. And if you keep on building these apartments and these houses and filling them up, eventually you run out. You can only take a road so long and it goes so many ways. So I feel the growth of us, small country Clarksville, and now we're like a major city now where everybody want to come to. It's not going to get better. You can't do no 5-lane roads to give people living room. So I feel we either going to need to stop building these apartments in these communities where you're already overpopulated. Now you got 15, 20 more apartments coming up to 2,000 more people who are all driving. How are we supposed to go? So it's time we sit at our to get out our hub and come to the stop sign. We sit about 10 minutes. Wow. Until she get mad, she go around curves and get her right. It's just we need to make stuff make sense.
Make it make sense.
Because you realize when Bimpy, that name Bimpy came here, it shut the whole world down. It shut the whole Clarksville down. Nobody had nowhere to go. I mean, the city was sitting still. Sitting still.
We've got all this building going on. They're widening Tylertown Road, and according to thank you. According to the statistics, that area right by state line is the fastest growing area in our county. Yet the bus system goes down Track Road, downtown, up Wilmer Rudolph, and back. If you wanted to come from exit 1 to exit 4, you got to go all the way down, come all the way up, which means you got to have a car, or you got to take 2 hours to take a bus. If we're going to continue to build, we need more mass transit, and it's got to make sense. It's where the people are, and take them to the industrial park, to the mall, and also bring them back from the whole area where all these new apartments. But so they go out to Fort Canton, and hours that work for the people that need to be there at a certain time. If it takes 2.5 hours to get to work and 2.5 hours to get home, you have no life. And that's one of the things that we need to look at the bus system and see how it reflects our current population shift and come up with routes that make sense, as opposed to having just a couple of them up and down and say, well, that's That looks, yeah, we got a bus.
Okay. Make me smart, gentlemen. I use that phrase a lot when I want to gain more knowledge and insight about something. Right to work. In the case of Janus versus AFSCME, basically the federal government says that individuals should not be forced statewide, should not be forced to buy into or contribute into or pay union dues. Of course, Tennessee falls into that line. What is your take on the right to work as far as unionizing, and should, even though the federal government says this law based on this case, this is a statute, then should an individual still be encouraged to pay dues so that way they have a voice when it comes to voting, or also be a part of the amenities that the union brings, because the unions have lost money based on the statute? So what is your make me smart on the right to work as far as Tennessee?
Hold on, I need to add some
Yes, sir.
context. So right to work is not, it's not about whether we force people to join unions. It's about forcing unions to represent people who don't join.
Thank you. Okay.
So
Thank you for that
if a
clarification.
workplace unionizes in a right to work state, it says you don't have to join the union, and you also still get all the benefits of what's negotiated. Where in other states, if it's not right to work, the union only has to negotiate for its members. If you're not the union, you're on.
You're on your own. Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So,
I'm gonna start on this because my one grandfather, when he came over from Poland, he started working in the coal mines, and the coal mines back at the turn of the last century were very dangerous places. Black lung, we had all kinds of cave-ins, and the hours were long, pay was low. The union, there was a lot of fighting. Actually, there was violence when they tried to create a union, and the union made the mines a safer place. They provided a better working environment and a living wage. And then my family moved to Michigan, worked in auto industry, and again, the unions were there, and you got a fair wage for a fair day's work. But the problem is, a union won't have leverage to be able to do anything unless you have enough members. And when you say that being a right to work state means that you get to enjoy benefits, but you're not a union member, then you have this dichotomy where when it's time to discuss raising the wages, the union, the management can say, well, you know, the union total vote, they voted raise, but that's only 42% of the people. So apparently that's not going to work. You know, we've just seen the power of unions with the dock movers, and really, if you're somebody who works for a living, the unions, but and to be able to join a union and for that to be, you know, the right to work laws are basically an effort to break unions. Anybody that says anything different is wrong.
My father was part of the union. Only thing I know that I'm not a professional talking about the union. From what I've seen, the union, you have somebody who go and ask for stuff. If they're not willing to give you what you're asking for, you go on the picket line and you strike. When you're striking, the union pays you so much, you get paid, hold you out there for 30, 40 days, 60 days. Your car payment still due, your house payment still due, everything still due. Does the union pay all your bills up for as long as you're out there striking? Yeah, they're gonna reach a deal for you, and they're gonna make sure you okay to get that little bit more money you are. But by the time you are there striking for 2, 3, 4 months, life is still life. You still got to get a paycheck. You still got to take care of your family. I don't know the benefit of it or the non-benefit of it, but I understand that if a man's going to ask on my behalf, hey, I want a $20 raise, and he's going to negotiate with them for the next 60 days, and we're on this big line, and I can't feed my family, then I guess for the individual, you see if the union's good for you to get that extra $40 and extra pay, or you sit on that big line and not eat. So I feel it's up to the individual. If you want it, you don't want it. I know it turned out for some to be amazing. For some, it didn't turn out so well. A lot of folks go out and they say, hey, you want to be part of the union, or you don't want to come to work, I'm going to get a temporary person. I'm going to pay them half the money. They're going to go do your job, and then I'll see you later. Like you start over. So I feel that, I guess I picked that on the individual because I'm not professional with that either. I just know what I see.
Okay.
And my father was one of those ones when we were sitting at home and he was on the picket line and it was struggle. When they got him right, we back right. It took a long time to get out of that hole.
It took a while.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And we've covered a lot of questions tonight, gentlemen. What would you want the community to know more about you that we didn't cover? What, maybe one item apiece that we did not cover that is pressing that you want the community to know what your stance, what your focus, what your visions are for what you are looking at to accomplish?
I'm Dwight Jimson. I'm open book. I'm not from here. I'm from Detroit, raised in Ohio. I got out of the military here in '92. I hid my daughter in the barracks with me for a whole year. Before I got out, I was still artillery, but they put me with a 86 evac, a medical. So I had my own room. So I raised a daughter in the barracks with me for a year. I was a broke soldier with a book bag in a car seat, no car. I know the struggles and being struggling, but I tell people, no matter what your situations are, you are not your disability. I'm a disabled veteran. I don't let my disability disable me. So I go so hard. I'm 365 days a year. I'm going 478, and I know I drive my wife crazy because every night I don't sleep. I'm always coming up with little ideas of what we can do to make the community better, but I always forgot about me and not take care of me. So mentally, I'm not all right. I'm all right. But my drive is to be about community, people, family, and just try to help people be better, better than I was. So with the resources we have, we try to get people food and, try to help people with their bills. The people that are really out here struggling. So I'm all about community. If you want to know who I am, Dwight Jimson, if you go on my page, I'm not doing this. I'm not kissing on babies because it's election time. This is something that we're really compassionate in. I didn't just come out here last week saying I want to run for City Council Ward 8, and I just want to be a better build roads. I worry about the light pole that's been out. The light's been out for 6 years now, so I want to fix it because I'm on City Council. You got to realize City Council is a board of 12. I'm one person. I got to ask permission for these 11 people to agree with me to get anything done. So all the promises people make and all the extra stuff that goes along with politics, I don't like it. I want to be here for the people. I want to advocate for the people in my ward and Clarksville. It's not just about Ward 8, because it's about everybody. When you make decisions about the whole city.
That's correct.
I just want people to know that we're out here genuinely trying to help you. And I just want folks to vote for me. Go and see who I am, Dwight Jimson. Don't just see a color. Don't see a political party. Because y'all start making stuff weird when we start doing that. Go and investigate people and go on their pages and go back 6, 7, 8 years, see what they were doing 8 years ago and see what they were doing in your community. We had one guy, we posted some pictures of stuff we do in the community. He got mad and said, well, what if you not for Ward 8? Well, dude, when the tornado hit, I was out here with every food truck in Clarksville feeding everybody. We going house to house feeding, making sure everybody all right. Getting back, gave us tarps, nails, hammers. We was taking care of the community. So when we said that, the troll just went away. But don't question what I'm doing. What are you doing? There's so many people out here on these blue books telling you what you should be, should not be doing. Y'all run for your ward and make your ward better for you. But don't judge people for what you don't see them doing. You don't know nothing about them. But again, I'm Dwight Jimson. Whether you vote for me or you vote for whoever, just go out and vote. I approve this message. Let's go.
All right. There you go. Thanks. My name is Dave Billen, and I guess a couple things to know about me is that I've had some health issues. I can tell you about having quadruple bypass surgery, having had a stroke. I'm well now. It's a challenge, but I know what it's like to struggle with a problem, but not give up. I've got a daughter who's disabled. She's been disabled for 24 years, and she just was diagnosed with cancer on her brain stem. And that gave me a perspective of trying to find housing for people with disabilities, which the Clarksville Housing Authority has nothing for this area. She lives in Oregon. And as somebody who's running for city council and wants to be a city council, I'm retired. So this isn't a part-time gig for me that I'm looking to network with other people or try to get my name out there so that I can increase my business. I want to help the community. I want to help my ward. I want to help everybody. And I want to work with people like Mike because he's right. It is a collaborative effort. One person can't do it. And actually, there's 12 people because the mayor is a voting part of what goes on. And we need to be able to support each other's wards and look at the greater good for the entire city. You got to balance the wants and the needs with how much money we bring in. We just had our property tax raised 17.5%. Yeah. And do we need more property taxes? That's for you to decide. And when you look at my page, DaveBillen.com, see, I'm opposed to it, and I'm pushing for a tax reform. I want to make it so that we don't have a 17% increase at one time. I want to push for an ordinance that we won't have a tax increase of more than 5% on any given year, and we won't have a tax increase on a year that we have a property reassessment, because it's a political shell game to say, well, your taxes were 123, now they're 88, but actually it was 123 to 74.88, and now it's by law we're supposed to have a tax neutral reassessment, but according to the newspapers, our financial person said that they rejected that. I don't know how you can have a law and then reject it and then turn around and raise everybody's taxes. Anyway, go to my website, take a look at who I am, what I do, and I'm here for the community. I'm doing this. I'm not doing it for money, obviously. We don't get paid a lot as a city council, but I want our city to be the best it can possibly be. So thank you much. And October comes to its end, and either vote early or vote in November. Vote for DBLM for Ward 12. Thanks.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I just want to commend Dave, his families, his wife and his daughters in Oregon. He's here still for the people. His daughter's been sick for a while. I mean, it just shows somebody a person.
Correct.
He's here with us, his family's somewhere else, but he's making these forums. So anybody that's not showing up for these forums and for people to get to know you, I don't think it's cool. I didn't like the way Clarksville, whichever one it is, they want to send out a sheet for everybody to fill it out and copy notes and copy and paste something that you want to say instead of coming to these forums to get people to see you. I just want to commend you for being here, despite what's going on in your life. I want to say I appreciate you.
Well, I got to tell you that I'm not running against you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jemison, and thank you, Mr. Bill, and thank you to the staff here. Thank you for what you all have done as well to help get this project moving. And we wish you all the best in all that you do. Votes count, ladies and gentlemen. Votes count. If you want to see change, you have to vote. It's easy to complain about something, but it's more challenging to get in to make the change. So this is where the changes are going to come in. They're going to come in when you vote. So have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Clarence Johnson, your moderator for the DNC here in Clarksville, Montgomery County. Thank you.